You've been patient, you've been praying, you've been silently surviving storms no one even saw. But now, something feels different. It's like the air around you is shifting, and you're wondering, is Allah about to give me what I've been waiting for? Listen carefully, because before Allah gives you something big, He whispers it through subtle signs. Not everyone sees them, but if you do, your entire life is about to change. Sign 1. Your life feels out of control, but it's actually falling into place. Everything around you is falling apart. You try to hold on, but nothing stays. People you thought would never leave suddenly go silent. Opportunities you worked hard for vanish right when you needed them most. It feels like life is spinning out of control. And deep inside, you start wondering, did I do something wrong? Is Allah angry with me? But the truth is, this isn't a punishment. It's a divine realignment. Allah is not pushing you away. He's pulling you out of places you were never meant to stay in. What you called loss was actually protection. What you saw as rejection was a redirection. Because sometimes, the blessings we ask for can't reach us until the wrong things are cleared out of the way. So Allah starts removing the people who don't truly care for you. He delays plans that would have drained your energy. He closes doors that looked good, but would have crushed your soul. And it hurts, because you don't see the full picture yet. But He does. He sees the traps you didn't notice. He hears the conversations behind your back. He knows the weight of what you were holding. So He takes it, not to break you, but to build you. Because sometimes, before Allah gives you a palace, He has to destroy the prison you built with your own hands. The prison of wrong attachments. The prison of false hopes. The prison of thinking you knew what was best. So if your life feels like it's falling apart right now, maybe it's actually falling into place. And maybe, just maybe, what you thought was the end is actually the beginning of something far greater than you ever prayed for. Sign 2. You feel extremely tired, but it's not physical. You feel it in your chest. A strange kind of emptiness, like something is missing, but you can't explain what. You're surrounded by people, but you still feel alone. You laugh, but it doesn't reach your heart. You pray, but it feels quiet. It's not sadness, it's not depression. It's just this deep emptiness, and it scares you. You start wondering, why do I feel this way? Did I lose something? Am I becoming distant from Allah? But here's something no one talks about. Before Allah gives you something big, He empties you first. He clears space inside your heart. He removes the noise. He takes away the things that distracted you. Because when your heart is full of everything else, there's no room left for the real blessing. This emptiness you feel, it's not a punishment. It's a sacred pause, a moment of preparation. Think about it. Before a cup is filled with clean water, it has to be emptied of the old. Before a tree bears fruit, it has to lose its leaves. Before the sun rises, the world is at its darkest. And that's exactly what's happening to you. You're being emptied, so that when the gift comes, you'll be ready for it. So that when the blessing enters, your heart won't be too distracted to receive it. Allah knows you've been patient. He knows you've cried quietly at night. He knows you've tried to stay strong when no one else could see your pain. And now, He's preparing the perfect space inside you for what's coming next. So if you feel empty right now, don't panic. Don't think it means something's wrong. It actually means something beautiful is near. Because Allah doesn't place something precious into a heart that isn't ready. and the emptiness you feel is the final proof that the gift is closer than you think. Sign 3. You start losing friends, support, and noise. At first, you think it's just a phase. People stop checking in. Conversations dry up. The group chats go silent. And one by one, the ones you thought were permanent start fading. Some leave quietly. Some leave with drama. But either way, you're left alone. And in that silence, you begin to wonder, what did I do wrong? Why is everyone disappearing right when I need support the most? But here's what most people don't realize. Before Allah gives you something big, He removes the people who can't handle what's coming. You're not being abandoned. You're being refined. You're being elevated. And not everyone was meant to rise with you. Some friendships were only meant to teach you a lesson, not walk the whole journey with you. Some people were a chapter, not the whole book. And when Allah sees that you've outgrown a relationship, He doesn't wait for you to let go. He removes it Himself. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it's confusing. But sometimes, the ones you miss the most were actually holding you back the most. Not because they were evil, but because their presence was too loud for you to hear your own growth. When you're surrounded by noise, you miss the whispers of your own soul. You miss the whispers of Allah. So He clears the room. He silences the noise. He removes the distractions. Because what's coming, your next chapter, requires focus. It requires you to walk alone so you can discover the strength you forgot you had. So you can reconnect with the one who never leaves, Allah. Because sometimes, the loneliness you fear is actually the protection you needed. The silence, it's sacred. The disconnection, it's divine. And the people who left, they didn't break you, they freed you. So if your life feels quiet right now, if you're walking alone, just know, you're not being left behind. You're being prepared. Because the blessing that's coming is so big, so heavy, so sacred, it needs space. It needs silence. It needs a stronger, quieter, deeper version of you. And that version of you is being built right now in solitude. Sign 4. You keep seeing repeating numbers, words, or themes. You're scrolling through your phone, and a verse about patience pops up. Then, you hear the same verse in a random lecture. Later that night, someone brings it up in conversation. You weren't looking for it, but it keeps appearing over and over again. Or maybe you keep seeing the same number. Every time you check the clock, it's 11:11. Every license plate, every receipt, every random corner of life, the same symbols repeat. And something inside you whispers, this isn't random, because it's not. Allah speaks to the heart in quiet, gentle ways. And one of those ways is repetition. When you keep seeing the same word, the same quote, the same theme, it's not a coincidence, it's a message. But not everyone will understand it. Because divine signs aren't shouted, they're whispered. And only those who are paying attention will hear them. Allah is guiding you, gently. And instead of using thunder or earthquakes, He uses patterns. He uses familiarity. He knows what will catch your heart, what will make you pause, what will make your soul lean in. It's His way of saying, look closer, I'm showing you something. Because when your life is about to shift, when something big is being prepared for you, Allah starts waking you up through your surroundings. It could be a phrase that haunts you, a surah that follows you, a dream that keeps returning, a word that keeps echoing, and it makes you feel like the universe is trying to tell you something. But it's not the universe, it's your Lord, the one who created every atom, every moment, every sign. And sometimes the sign isn't just in what you see, it's in how it makes your heart react. A chill down your spine, tears without explanation, a sense of deep peace in the middle of a storm. That's how Allah lets you know. You're not crazy, you're not imagining it, you're being guided. So don't ignore the signs, don't call them just a coincidence. Because if something keeps showing up in your life and it stirs something in your soul, that's not random. That's a divine thread pulling you toward your destiny. Follow it, because it might be leading you straight into your next blessing, the one your soul has been waiting for. Sign 5. You experience delays that make no sense. You did everything right. You prayed. You planned. You prepared. You stayed patient. You waited your turn, and still nothing. You were sure this was the moment. Everything looked perfect. The job was lined up. The person felt right. The opportunity was finally here. And then, without warning, it slipped through your fingers. And you're left staring at the silence, asking, why would Allah bring me this far, just to stop me now? But what if He's not stopping you? What if He's protecting you? Delays are some of the hardest signs to accept because they come when your heart is full of hope. And when that hope gets paused, it doesn't just hurt, it shakes your faith. You start questioning everything. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe this dua wasn't meant to be answered. But here's the truth you can't see in the moment. Delays aren't punishments. They're protection with hidden wisdom. Allah knows what's in your future. He sees the hidden storms behind what you think is a blessing. He hears the conversations you weren't meant to hear. He knows the weight of what you're asking for, and whether it would lift you or crush you. And sometimes He delays you not to deny you, but to develop you. Because what you're asking for comes with responsibilities your current version can't carry. So Allah pauses the blessing while He upgrades the person receiving it. He wants you to grow, stronger, wiser, more grateful, more connected to Him. Because if He gives it too early, you might misuse it, you might lose it, or worse, it might pull you away from Him. So He delays, not to punish, not to frustrate, but to perfect the timing. Because Allah's timing is always beautiful, calculated, full of mercy. And sometimes He delays the thing you want to give you the thing you need: peace, clarity, protection, growth. So if your life feels stuck right now, if the doors just won't open, if everything you planned keeps getting postponed, it's okay. You're not forgotten. You're not failing. You're not being left behind. You're just being prepared for something so good, so unbelievable, that if it came right now, you wouldn't even believe it was meant for you. But it is, and it's on its way. Just not yet. Because Allah doesn't just give gifts, He gives them at the perfect moment, when your heart is truly ready to receive them. Sign 6. You feel an urge to change, but you don't know why. You wake up one day, and something feels different. You can't explain it. There's no dramatic event, no crisis, no sign. 6. You feel an urge to change, but you don't know why. It doesn't start with a breakdown, but your soul starts whispering, I don't want to live like this anymore. Suddenly, the things you used to love, the habits, the people, the distractions, they don't feel the same. You're not interested in gossip. You start feeling guilty about the music that once played on repeat. You crave silence. You crave purpose. You want to declutter your room. You want to clean your heart. But when people ask you what's wrong, you don't have an answer, because nothing's wrong. something is just changing. That unexplained urge to pray again, to wear hijab, to lower your gaze, to stay off social media, to delete old contacts, to open the Quran. That pull, it's not random. That's Allah touching your soul, gently, quietly, powerfully. You don't know what triggered it, but deep down, you feel like you're being called to something higher. It doesn't mean you're suddenly perfect. You still slip, you still struggle, but now you care. Now you feel it. Now your sins don't sit comfortably anymore. And that discomfort, that restlessness in your soul, that's not a breakdown. That's a spiritual awakening. Because before Allah blesses your life outwardly, He purifies you inwardly. He clears your heart. He softens your character. He wakes you up, not to shame you, but to shape you. You're being pushed to become someone greater, not because you're broken, but because you're ready for more. And here's the most beautiful part. You don't need to understand why it's happening. You just need to answer the call. When your heart starts pulling away from the old version of you, it's a sign Allah is getting ready to give you something that old version could never handle. Maybe you're about to be trusted with a new chapter, a new level, a new peace, a new purpose. And that inner shift, that desire to become better, even when no one sees you, that's one of the clearest signs that something big is on its way. So follow that feeling. Don't ignore it. Don't drown it in distractions. Because that quiet urge to change is not just a feeling. It's Allah preparing you for the blessing you don't even know you're about to receive. Sign 7. You cry more easily, even without knowing why. You're sitting in your room, and out of nowhere, tears begin to fall. You weren't thinking about anything sad. You weren't even trying to cry. It just happened. A verse you hear in prayer suddenly hits your heart differently. A random post online brings you to tears. You're walking alone, and the sky looks beautiful. And something in you breaks, but you don't know why. And maybe you feel embarrassed by it. You wonder, why am I becoming so emotional? Why am I crying so much over little things? But here's the truth most people don't realize. Your tears are a sign that your soul is softening, not weakening. You're not falling apart. You're being opened up. Allah is breaking through the walls you didn't even know you built. Walls made from old pain, heavy pressure, disappointment, and silence. And now that those walls are starting to crack, the water is coming out. Tears. It's His way of cleaning your heart, without words, without lectures, without sound. Just tears. Because sometimes, when the heart is too tired to speak, Allah lets it cry instead. And those random tears, they're never random. Sometimes they're your soul saying, I'm tired, but I still believe. Other times, I'm healing, or even, I'm ready for something greater now. And the closer you get to your breakthrough, the more your soul starts to feel. Because a hard heart cannot hold a soft blessing. And what you're being prepared for is so pure, so delicate, so beautiful. It needs a soft, awakened soul to receive it. So don't hold back the tears. Don't wipe them away with shame. Don't think crying means you're weak. Even the Prophet, peace be upon him, cried. Even the best of creation had moments where the tears flowed, not from sadness, but from love, longing, closeness to Allah. Those tears, they are signs. They are proof that you're being pulled closer, closer to yourself, closer to truth, closer to Allah. And sometimes your dua is not on your tongue, it's in your tears. and Allah hears every single one. So if lately you find yourself crying without knowing why, know this: you're not breaking. You're awakening, and it means something beautiful is coming. Sign 8. You start dreaming bigger and feeling guilty for it. Lately, your dreams have been growing. You find yourself imagining a better life, a cleaner heart, a stronger version of you. You start thinking, what if I memorized Quran? What if I changed everything? What if I actually became the person I've always admired? And it feels beautiful for a moment. But then the guilt creeps in. You start thinking, I've sinned too much. I've messed up too many times. I'm not good enough. Suddenly, the dream that lifted your heart becomes a burden, and you start shrinking again. You silence your own potential, not because you can't sign 8. You start dreaming bigger and feeling guilty for it. Lately, your dreams have been growing. You find yourself imagining a better life, a cleaner heart, a stronger version of you. You start thinking, what if I memorized Quran? What if I changed everything? What if I actually became the person I've always admired? And it feels beautiful for a moment. But then, the guilt creeps in. You start thinking, I've sinned too much. I've messed up too many times. I'm not good enough. Suddenly, the dream that lifted your heart becomes a burden, and you start shrinking again. You silence your own potential, not because you can't, but because you feel like you don't deserve to. But listen closely. That dream in your heart didn't come from arrogance. It came from faith. It came from a soul that knows its source. It came from a heart that remembers its creator. Because the moment Allah wants to elevate you, He places a whisper in your soul, a whisper that says, you were made for more. You're not done yet. You haven't even seen who you really are. That whisper isn't pride. It's divine direction. And the enemy wants to drown it with shame, with fear, with guilt. But here's what you need to understand. The desire to become better is not a sign of pride. It's a sign of connection. You're being drawn toward greatness, not because you're already perfect, but because you're finally ready to grow. Every time you imagine yourself standing in front of Allah with a clean heart, every time you see yourself finally praying with khushu, every time you picture breaking free from your bad habits, that's a sign that you're not lost, a sign that your fitrah, your pure inner self, is still alive. You may feel unworthy, but Allah is not looking for perfection. He's looking for willing hearts. And if your heart keeps reaching for better, it's because Allah is calling you forward, into something new, into something sacred, into the next level of your purpose. So don't shrink. Don't sabotage yourself with guilt. Don't say, I'm not ready. If Allah placed that vision in your heart, then it's not just possible, it's part of your destiny. And yes, you'll fall along the way, you'll struggle, but that doesn't mean stop. It means keep walking. Because that dream you're scared to believe in, that image of a stronger, more disciplined, more faithful you, that's not a fantasy. That's a preview of the person Allah is about to turn you into, insha'Allah. The final message. So now you know. The emptiness, the delays, the loneliness, the tears you couldn't explain, the sudden urge to change, the dreams that scare you with how big they are. None of it is random. None of it is a mistake. It's not a breakdown. It's not bad luck. And it's definitely not Allah abandoning you. It's a sign, a divine message written just for you. Your life is about to shift. Allah doesn't give big blessings to unprepared hearts. So before He gives it to you, He prepares you through silence, through tests, through soul-deep transformation. You've been asking for something, and Allah has been listening, not with delay, but with divine calculation. He's not late. He's not ignoring you. He's working in the unseen, aligning every detail, purifying every intention, sharpening every part of you, so that when the blessing arrives, you're not just ready, you're grateful, you're strong, you're aware of where it came from and who it came from. So if you're seeing these signs, don't give up. Don't walk away. Don't shrink yourself back into the past. You are not being tested just to suffer. You are being transformed for something greater than you ever imagined. And when it arrives, you'll look back and whisper, "Now I understand why it had to happen this way." Because the pain wasn't the ending, it was the preparation. And the signs were never coincidences. They were promises from the most merciful, from the one who never forgets his servant. Your time is coming. Just keep walking, keep believing, keep becoming, because what's written for you will find you. And when it does, it will be so clear, so beautiful, so perfectly timed, you'll know exactly who sent it. Insha'Allah.